Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. Today I've got a video that was requested for me to do, which is a preview of the All Blacks versus Wallabies match, as well as my prediction for the starting 15 for the All Blacks. So let's get right into it. Right, so the first match was a 16-all draw between the two sides at Sky Stadium. Now, it was a wet, windy day in Wellington, and the kicking conditions, as you could tell, were not very easy from watching it. Jordie Barrett struggled, so did James O'Connor. So at the moment, for the forecast for Eden Park, we are looking at a few showers developing, but then there's a little bit of wind, but not too much. High of 18, low of 11, so it should be a relatively good day. Just that little bit of rain perhaps lurking. But it shouldn't be anything like it was at Sky Stadium. That looked like awful kicking conditions. And you could see it from both players that they were not enjoying it. Even Jordie Barrett, with his home field advantage, as he plays for the Hurricanes, just couldn't quite read it. But then it is known to be a bit of a swirling wind in Sky Stadium. So the next game is kicking off at the same time, which is 4 PM this Sunday at Eden Park. They are expecting over 40,000 in the stadium at this stage, and that's this early. So we could be looking at a very large number. But it's going to be an interesting game. I don't want to make the prediction of whoever wins this will win the Bledisloe Cup, but it will give them a very good chance, to be honest. Now, a big question on everyone's mind is who is going to be playing for the All Blacks? And to be honest, I don't really know. I have heard some news, and that is that Sam Whitelock, he was having concussion-like symptoms, so he is actually more than likely going to be out for the next match at Eden Park, and Beauden Barrett's still only a maybe, and then there's also talks that Richie Mo'unga might miss it due to some small injury as well, which then recently they have announced that Josh Ioane is coming into the team. So then that makes selection even harder. What is going to happen? But I have got my prediction, I will say, I've got here. Now, I know for a fact this won't be correct. Right, I'm just hoping that I will get more right than I do wrong on my prediction. But it's a hard one. Definitely if Sam Whitelock is out, that opens up a few more gaps. But I have tried to fill it in. So, the front three I am going to go with identical to last week, although it's a hard one. So it would be Joe Moody, Cody Taylor, and Tu'ungafasi. Now, I could easily see a couple of them changing. Perhaps they start Dane Coles instead of Taylor, or maybe you look at starting. Well, it depends. If Lulala's back, maybe they'll consider starting him at 3 instead of Tu'ungafasi, but we will have to wait and see. 4, you've got to go Patrick Tuipulotu. I think that is the smart option there. He did play all right in the last match at Sky Stadium, so I think he is safe for that position. Now, number 5, I have put Tupou Va'ai, because with Sam Whitelock out, there's a huge gap that opens up there. So Tupou Va'ai looks strong off the bench. But yeah, I think he will get that starting position at 5. 6, I have gone for Shannon Frizzell. I know quite a few people with saying Ardie Savea 6, Hoskins Sotutu at 8, which could also be a possibility. But for now, I have said Shannon Frizzell will be 6. Sam Cane 7 as the captain once again. I've put Ardie Savea at 8, but a couple of those, they may get a little bit of a reshuffle, I think. Number 9, I've gone with Aaron Smith. Now, number 10. Number 10's quite a hard decision to make, as we don't know the extent of everyone's injuries. But I have gone number 10, Beauden Barrett, if he is able to play. I think they should play him 10 instead of fullback. So then I've got Richie Mo'unga if Beauden Barrett's injured. I think they'd more than likely start Mo'unga again. But then I've also got Josh Ioane as an option. If both of Beauden Barrett and Mo'unga are out, I think Josh Ioane, he would fit that number 10 role quite nicely. He plays very well for the Highlanders as well as Otago. And I think he has got the skill set that could make him look quite dangerous against a side like the Wallabies. Number 11, I have gone Caleb Clarke. I know a lot of people wanted him to start the last match, and then he came off the bench and looked very dangerous. George Bridge had quite a quite a quiet game, you'd say, for George Bridge last match at Sky Stadium. So I think Caleb Clarke, there's a good chance that he may get to start this one. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. He looked very strong off the bench. Number 12, I have gone Anton Leonard-Brown. And 13, Jack Goodhue. Which would mean Rieko Ioane misses out. And I don't want it to seem like it's just because of last performance. I just feel like the midfield of Leonard-Brown and Goodhue would be quite a good combo. So with Leonard-Brown and Goodhue, I feel like they would make a lot of good tackles and a lot of good decisions for the backline of the All Blacks. Then number 14, I have gone Sevu Reece. He didn't get to start and he wasn't on the bench in the last match. But during Super Rugby Aotearoa with the Crusaders, he has looked very strong. And I feel like that would be a smart move, having him at 14 and then 15, Geordie Barrett. So I know a lot of people wanted Will Jordan to start, but I think the tactic that they went with last game was to have anyone on debut come off the bench. So I think at best, I think Will Jordan will get a bench spot, but then it is a tricky one. I'll move on to that a little bit later. Right, so my bench looks like this. Dane Coles, Carl Tuanukuafi, Tyrell Lomax looked good off the bench, so he has got that number 18 spot. Number 19, I was struggling with this because if Tupou Va'ai starts. I have got number 19, Quinton Strange, but I'm also thinking they may go down the line of perhaps Cullen Grace getting added to that side. And number 20, I did put Hoskin Satutu. But that 19 and 20, I'm still a bit indecisive on. 21, TJ Perinara. And then 22 and 23, I was struggling with. I have put 22 as Rieko Ioane. But then that'll also depend on whether or not Josh Ioane starts the game. I think if Josh Ioane doesn't start, he will be on the bench, either 22 or 23. But the reason I've put Rieko Ioane is because with my other option, I said either Damian McKenzie or Will Jordan at 23. So the thing with that is, I think out of those two, I want to say it would be more likely Will Jordan for the cover on the wings, but then Damian McKenzie, he did have a great game last week. So it's a hard one. And then Rieko Ioane is there because I assume with what they did last week with having Leonard-Brown on the bench, they do want a spare centre. So then I put Rieko Ioane, as they don't really have many other centres unless they look at bringing Laumapi into the reserves bench perhaps. There are a lot of decisions that will need to be made. I am glad I'm not a New Zealand selector here. So that is my All Blacks starting lineup and bench predictions. Now, I'm not sure how close I will be. I feel like I might be a mile off. But I just want to clarify, I in no way consider myself an expert in rugby. In fact, I'd probably consider myself a lot further down the scale towards like amateur or so. Now, the next decisions would be the Wallabies lineup, and I just want to say I don't think I will do their full lineup for this video because I don't really know enough about some of those players. But what I will say is that the Wallabies played very well together in that last match. And they're 3 players on debut. So they were Harry Wilson. He played relatively well, I thought. Then the other 2 were number 13, Hunter Paisami, and number 14, Filippo Dagunu. Now, those 2 look dangerous together. They are both from the Reds. And I would say Filippo Dagunu on the wing. He will be a dangerous man in that second match as well. The one this weekend at Eden Park. I think if he doesn't score a try, I would be very surprised, because he looked extremely dangerous. So I'd say they'll make a couple changes, the Wallabies, but nothing too major. I don't think. Maybe they'll bring Reece Hodge on just that little bit earlier, but that's about all I can say for the Wallabies side. Now, the squads do get announced tomorrow, and as soon as they are, I will be making a video for the All Blacks and a video for the Wallabies, so be sure to check those out. But I think I am pretty much at the end of this video. I didn't really preview the match coming up this weekend much, but I think I will do a part 2 once I do know the squads, because then I'll be able to give a little bit more in-depth information. Anyway, that's the end of this video, I believe. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one where I show you the lineups as well as part 2 of my preview for the big match at Eden Park this weekend. All Blacks versus Wallabies, second test match. See you later.